Hey guys, and welcome back to Smart Money Minds. In today's episode, I'm going to be going over some of the places that you need to spend your money in. Money is only a tool to your success, and money is supposed to enhance your life. And by pre-planning what categories your money is being spent in, then your quality of life will increase dramatically because you don't have to stress over where you're going to put your money, how much money you're going to spend. It's just so much easier. So in your 20s, you might think that it's totally okay to just blow my cash in the club to impress some ladies, or just go to Vegas and gamble my luck, but thinking that it's okay. I'm young and I have lots of time to save for later. However, if you start planning and spending your money appropriately, then you'll have a great mix of fun and also have protection for the future. For when you have a car accident, when you have a family emergency, or even if you're thinking far down the road for your retirement. So whether you have a job or you run your own business, you have to consider these places to put your money before your paycheck comes in. So the first place I would consider putting my money away into is my retirement fund. So I would recommend you to put at least 5 to 10% of your income directly into your retirement fund. That could be in your RRSP, that's for Canadians, or for your 401k if you're living in the States, or whatever that your retirement account could be around the world. And what's even better is I would recommend putting in the maximum amount, especially if your company is matching your 401k or your RRSP and they're contributing the same amount. That way you're getting paid extra for, just saving for your retirement. With this money, you can look into putting it into some mutual funds or some low-risk bonds, or just putting it in stocks that give you dividends. There's no need for management. You just have to wait till it grows and don't touch it for 30 to 40 years. And by then, the compound interest on it would have given and grown your retirement portfolio significantly without you really having to do too much to it, except keep adding to it. This is especially effective if you put it into something that's tax deferred or tax exempt, so that the government can't stick their sticky little fingers into your cookie jar. The second area I would put my money in is in debt repayments. If you have any debt, this is the area you should consider clearing up, because if you, let's say, have a 5% interest rate on a $10,000 loan, that's $500 a month that you're paying for no good reason. And sometimes I know that we overextend ourselves financially, and that's okay, and as long as we have the ability to pay it back, that's fine. But the faster we pay it back, the better we're going to feel about ourselves, knowing that no debt collectors are going to come after us, we're not paying unnecessarily into interest, and it's just better for our credit score overall. There are two methods of paying back debt, and one is called the Snowball method, and the other one is called the Avalanche method. The Snowball method means that if you have multiple debt, we pay off the one with the lowest amount first. So let's say you have a credit card that you're owing $4,000 at 10%, and you have a car payment owing $5,000 at 5%, and you have student loan debts at $2,000 at 2%. But what we want to do is we want to pay off the student loan first, even though it's the lowest interest rate, because that way it's the fastest way to reduce one debt that you have, allowing you to roll the snowball faster and eliminate each debt at a time. While the Avalanche method is the method where you eliminate the debt that has the highest interest rate first, regardless of the amount. So with our previous example, the credit card debt of $4,000 at 10% will be the first debt that you want to eliminate. This appears on the surface to be eliminating debt a lot slower, but overall it's more effective. And if you do the calculations, you're actually paying a lot less because you don't have to pay as high interest rate. So we definitely want to put money into our debt repayments. The more the better, because the faster you pay off your debts, the faster you have less interest to pay, and you don't have to owe anybody money. But the amount that you spend here is very dependent on the next area that you spend your money on, and that is your necessities. That's the third thing that you have to spend money on. This is your everyday life, your food, your shelter, your utilities, your transportation. We want to have enough money to spend here. If you're drowning in debt, you might want to consider living below your means for a little bit. Think about maybe just eating beans and rice for a couple of meals a week, or taking the bus, or just renting a bedroom instead of renting an apartment. By having discipline over ourselves, and especially our ego and our thoughts of needing to keep up with the Joneses, we can reduce our costs to a minimum if necessary. We have to make sure that our needs are taken care of, and sometimes we have to give up our wants in order to do so. We have to make sure that our needs are taken care of, but that means sometimes we have to eliminate some of our wants, such as going out for food, or getting a fancy car, especially if you want to pay off more of your debt and save money for other things. The fourth area you should be putting your money in is an emergency fund. This emergency fund should consist of at least 3 to 6 months of your daily expenses, and this should be easily accessible and highly liquid. So nothing in real estate or investments, but it should be cash. This fund is for when you need, for example, emergency surgery for your eye, or a heavy vet bill for your dog, or especially if you're injured yourself and you can't go to work for multiple months. The buffer is there so that if there is no income for months, you can still feed yourself and your dependents. By having this, it'll give you a peace of mind so that you're not living hand to mouth. The fifth area you want to put your money in is the investment fund. While you do have your retirement fund, you probably still want to make a little bit more than the 3 to 5% yearly that your retirement fund should get you. In this investment fund, you can look into a bit more high-risk stocks, such as anything in speculative or emerging markets, or it could also be in well-established workhorse companies. Either way, this fund can be something you look into once a month and see how your shares are doing. Because of the high-risk nature, I wouldn't recommend you putting too much into this fund, into this basket, but it's worth it if you were gonna hit a jackpot, like buying Bitcoin when it was less than $100. This basket is also somewhere where you can experiment and test out some day trading or some swing trading strategies, and you can have a little fun to see what these investments can take you, and if you make good money, great. Last but not least, now that you have your necessity funds, your retirement funds, your security funds all looked after, you gotta have yourself a dream fund. A dream fund is where you put your money in for what you really want. What are you yearning for? Is it to travel the world? Is it to climb the Himalayas? Is it to open a sanctuary for gerbils? Whatever it is that you want or you dream about, you want to put some money to try to achieve that dream. With this fund, it'll give you something to look forward to. You might want to take some money from this fund to take that Hawaii trip that you've always wanted to take. This bucket is meant for you to achieve your desires, and the money is the tool for you to do so. Oh, and we're not done yet. I have a bonus fund for you guys, and this one is called the Giving Back Fund. Have you ever bought a friend out and you treated them to dinner, or you bought a can of tuna for feeding a stray cat? Does it not feel good? Money is what we make of it, and it could be a highly negative experience, such as having debt collectors come after us, but what we want is to associate money to being a positive and fulfilling experience. And in order to do that, we have to give it freely to others so that we can feel good and others can feel good about it as well. This bucket doesn't have to be big, but I recommend something like $50 to $100 a month for it. But the point is to make money feel good and work for you. And by having money that we can give away freely, we will see it less as something that we attach to, and we won't be so upset about it if we lose all of it. And so in the comments below, let me know what other areas you usually put your money into. Did I miss anything, or is there something that you would suggest? Do you have a dream fund or a giving back fund? Let me know, and don't forget to hit the like button and subscribe to my channel, and then we'll see you guys next time.